Over there at the moment. I pay no attention to St. Patrick's Day, strictly for the tourists. You go to Chicago, you got a green river, you got a green beer. They did that with the Liffey, but the Liffey was green anyway. They just had to clear it up and make it look nice. Being Irish is, and it's all about bloodlines tonight, with High Barnet names like Yamamoto, Klein, good old Irish name that, and Dempsey, of course. Donald Dempsey, because I'm dumb. My name is Donald Dempsey. Too much information for you. When I was born, I was 2 pounds. 2 pounds is a tiny little baby. 2 pounds is a miracle baby. 2 pounds does not grow up to be fat, 50-ish, hairy-ish, and Irish like me. 2 pound babies are usually dead babies. But in 1956, I arrived. My mother desperately wanted a boy. I was a breech birth, so she was able to tell quickly whether I was a boy or not. She said to Doc Carl, who was a scrumpy man with big, huge, white caterpillar eyebrows, "Will it be a boy, doctor?" And he said, "I don't fucking know, Ita." And on the hospital radio, Doris Day was singing "Que sera, sera," and he said, "I don't fucking know, Ita. Whatever it'll fucking be, will fucking be." And then I put one toe into the world, and he was able to tell her it was a boy, and she said, "I don't matter what pain I go through now, as long as I know it's a boy." And she said, "Ah!" So obviously she did. 2 pounds baby. I came out like that. Nurse was American. She had a big baseball gloves. Baseball? Yeah. And she put just, how's that? And she cut me, and I wasn't out. And I arrived. And Irish sense of humour. What do you call the tiniest baby you ever saw in your life? So they called me Donald. So Stephen, what do you think Donald means?
It must be something very large.
Yes. Irish sense of humour. No, it doesn't mean cute tiny little baby, as Stephen thought it was. It actually means, get this, my name translated back into English actually means Almighty Spear Power. And my second name, Dempsey, means the proud one. So if I were to introduce myself to Stephen here, I'd go, "Hello Stephen, how are you? What's your name?"
Stephen.
Stephen. Oh, sorry. What's my name? My name is
Almighty Spear Power, the proud one. Call me by my name, Earthling, or die.
I'll change your pampers in a minute, Steve. Alright? So as you can see, you know, I'm a teacher, so if you were to get the tension with that nice Miss Smith, or with, "Almighty," you don't even go there again. So that's how I get my name. That's the Irish. My sister, Irish names are very important. My sister's called Blothy Ashling. When my sister was born, she was 1 pound 3 ounces. Total miracle altogether. They had those little glass boxes that they put people in when you're very small, very tiny. They didn't have them when I was arrived. So how did they keep me warm when I was 2 pounds? I asked kids this and they all said, "Microwave?" I go, "No, do not attempt that at all." Yes, Steve, you're full of answers tonight. What?
This little chicken incubator life?
No. They used to wrap me up in cotton wool. And I used to hate it. And I used to shook myself out of the cotton wool like that. And they used to go, "Oh, little boy, he's out of the cotton." And they used to put me back in again. And if I did that once, I did it 1,000 times. If I go into a chemist now and see cotton wool balls, I just shiver with fright. I just hate it. I hate it altogether. But my sister was only very tiny, and when she was born, she was dead. And they were looking for the heartbeat, and they had 20 guys around there. The doctor said, "I hope you don't mind, these 20 students are going to look at you, Mrs. Dempsey." And she was going, and of course she did. And they tried everything. They tried machines, stethoscopes, everything, and they couldn't find this elusive little heartbeat. So they told my mother, "Your baby is dead, Mrs. Dempsey." And this Indian doctor came by, and Indian doctors were sort of like, "Whoo!" You didn't have them in Ireland, so this is very exotic to have an Indian doctor. And after 20 guys tried to find his heartbeat, he said, "Excuse me, may I try?" And all he did was he took an immaculate white handkerchief out of his top pocket, warmed his hands so that the dear lady wouldn't feel the cold, sprayed the handkerchief on my mother's belly, listened, and found the magic heartbeat. So she was back on to being born. But as I said, when she was born, she was dead, and they put her aside wherever you put dead babies. And they said to my mother, "Mrs. Dempsey, you've got to name the child." And there wasn't anything playing when she was born dead. My mother looked out the window, big glass window, and there was one little flower battling to keep its head, to keep its petals on. And the Irish for flower is blow. The Irish for little flower is blóithín. So she called her Little Flower. And she had such a brief vision and dream of being alive. She was called Aisling, which means dream and vision. So my sister's called Blóithín Aisling, which means dream of a little flower. So Irish names tell the story of your birth. They're very important. It's how you got here. It's like having your own private mythology, your own private fairy story. But the Indian doctor thought, oh, it's the woman with the tiny little baby. And he went up and he wouldn't accept the fact that Blóithín was dead, and he picked her up by the ankles and he... Oh, God. There's always one in every crowd. So you go around smacking. What do? You sneak into hospitals and go and smack babies, huh?
I smacked them up.
Oh, God, I hate that. So, Stephen is that baby, and admitted, my name is Stephen, I smack babies. You think this is Smacking Babies Anonymous, Steve? Oh, God, man. So, he smacked her on the bottom, and she went, yeah! Like that, and she was back alive. She went from being this tiny little flower that barely had a brief dream of being alive, and she became the champion javelin thrower of Ireland, of Kildare, and she became the only girl on the boys' football team. This was at a time when girls did not play football, and they did not play football on a boys' team. And she was a great footballer. She was better than me. I admit that now. She was better than me. Can you believe it? Yes, she was. And she used to score 3 goals, 9 goals, 7 goals. And she just scored a triple hat-trick, and the captain of the other team said to her captain, he said, "You got a girl on your team." So they dropped her, and they proceeded to lose 23-0, 7-0, 3-0, and then they brought her back, and she scored a triple hat-trick again. And the captain of that team said, "You got a girl on your team." And he said, "Yeah, she's good, isn't she?" So, you can grow up and change who you are. I'm going to do a poem in Irish just so that you hear it. One of my favourite Irish words you don't hear a lot now anymore, simply because it's redundant, it's archaic, it's not there anymore. Whenever I used to ask my uncle, "When did that happen, Mikey?" he used to always say, Ullastraw, boy. And I didn't know what Ullastraw was. Ullastraw, get this, is one word for the day before yesterday. Why you need one word for that? I tell that to English people to laugh. I tell it to Chinese people who go, "Yes, what's so funny? We also have a word that says the day before yesterday." And he used to always tell me that to get rid of me. "Oh, that happened the day before yesterday." But he'd also tell me that happened a granny ago, or that happened an uncle ago. So people became a clock as well. But there was a time when I did not know this lovely, gorgeous lady, and I was bereft of her presence and bereft of not knowing her. And that was the day before yesterday. So this is an old Irish thing called Gran Macree, which means love of my life, and it goes like this. Ullastraw the gra gadistam, ach nish the gra gakinot gakinrod. The day before yesterday, your love unknown to me. Now your love, everything, everywhere. Right, my wife and I longed to have a baby, and we had great fun practicing, but no baby was manifesting itself. So we went for test after the test, and these were cancelled in 6 months. So it was a year and a half, and we still hadn't had the last test to see, this is probably too much information for you, Steve, to see whether the fallopian tubes were cleared. And a year and a half later, we were still not pregnant, and a year and a half later, we fell pregnant. You notice what I did here, Steve? I used the royal way, yeah? And don't ask me how I've done it. It just happened. There you go. So my wife was Finnish, and I used to sleep down by her belly and whisper and sing all bits of Irish, like an emotional patchwork quilt of sound and sense, and make up little songs for her. And she used to say, "I don't know what you're saying, but keep saying it, cause it's making me go asleep." That's the effect I have on women. I put them asleep. Hold on, it's okay, we got her back. Where am I? Right, so this is called Asgailga in Irish. That's what it means. Dún the Sula, close your eyes. Cuddle go law my gross sieve. Sleep until day, my gentle love. Cuddle go solve. Sleep peacefully. Iroic and Gaelic Shaw is rocky gun green Shafi. This moon will rise, this sun will set. Aragus raw igoni, care and love always. Gach iha is gach law is gach iha. Every night, every day, every night. Ma plurine, ma storine, ma murine, my little flower, my little treasure, my little darling. Achanish, but now, cuddle gasov gasiv. Sleep peacefully, gently, Gafanya and lay, until the break of day, the Misha or the Tave, with me at your side. Losing our baby late into the night, holding this little thing that only attempted to be human, unable to let go, I clasped the fetus tightly in my hand and buried it in the dawn of our local park, under a recently planted red rose bush. In my grief, flower and baby became one, and night after night I climbed over high railings and even higher stars to talk to her in the dark in Irish, or sang "My love is like a red, red rose," or cried. Almost got arrested one night by an Irish cop, drawn to the sound of Irish emerging from the darkness. Guess he let me go because it wouldn't look good on a charge sheet. The defendant was talking and crying to a flower in Irish. Isht, isht, listen, listen. Dinna egin ekina. Someone is crying in a Dorcason, in his darkness. Phil Aruno, oh, Phil Aruno is na imihu. Philaram akushla sto, oh. Agus chifik tu an glor. Thank you.